Good evening. My name is Tammy. I'm the president of Fun and Adventure at Singles Travel International. And tonight we are presenting Villages and Vintages of Portugal with Avalon Waterways. I'm here with Denise Fraind, and she really is a friend. She is our business development manager, and she's the one who gives us a lot of special deals for singles so that they can cruise on rivers in a luxurious atmosphere and not pay a ton more for their vacation. So, as a single traveler, we always love, first of all, we don't like to pay more, and everybody loves a deal. So, Denise, thank you for that so much. And tonight we're going to talk about Portugal and the new product that you guys started, and everybody's talking about Portugal. So, I cannot believe that you guys gave us your own space for less on this itinerary, and we're almost sold out on the space. So let's get going. Tell us what we're going to be missing if we don't do this cruise, and I'm going to turn the screen right over to you. It's all you.
Thank you, Tammy. And hi, guys. How are you? So I am Denise Fraind. I am the business development manager for the Globus family of brands and Avalon Waterways. And I have been with the company going on 24 years in October. And I know some of you have been on Avalon in the past, right? Thumbs up. I think, yeah, right. So last year I was on two of ours. And I did the Lower Danube, which I think some of you also did. I did the Moselle, which I think some of you did the Moselle also. And I'm excited to bring this to you. So this is our brand new ship that's coming out next year and brand new destination for us. Portugal is so popular. It's funny, Italy always used to be our number one destination in the past for land. And now actually Portugal land is taking off, and now Portugal River. So Portugal River for Avalon and other river cruise company, it's becoming pretty popular. So we are building the ship right now. It'll be ready next spring. And what I'll show you is, for those of you that have been on Avalon in the past, you'll see how the ship is a little bit different. And also just the itinerary is a little bit different. I just talked to my girlfriend that was on one of our competitors, and she's like, you have to do this next year. She said it was amazing. She goes, a little bit different than other river cruises because just of where the towns are located along the river, some of them you do need to motor coach to the destination. But she said that's what makes it so awesome, because the countryside is so beautiful. Funny story. So I cruised with her last year, and she fell asleep when we got to one of our destinations, and we didn't even notice. We were out doing an excursion and we came on, she was still sleeping on the coach. So she was commenting on this trip and how you have to motor coach to some of the destinations. And she's like, the countryside was so beautiful, but I ended up falling asleep for some of it. But that's what's nice. Normally with river cruising, and you will have it on here, where you dock, you get off, and you're right there. But what's nice is you do get to motor coach to some of these experiences, and you get to see these beautiful countrysides. So the Douro, and you'll see all of these vineyards. I mean, that's what it's noted for, are the fantastic wines. And it's called the River of Gold. And it's just all of this panoramic beauty. You have the beautiful wine region, the great wine, the port wine, and all of these sloping vineyards that you see here on the screen. And as you go down the river, and I'll show you some of the photos of the different towns, you have all these great little charming little villages along the river, and all the ones that you visit. And what's nice is on the cruise, you see all of these sloping vineyards as you're cruising down. It's funny. So I texted my friend earlier, and I said, so what did you think that made it so different than the other ones that you've been on? And this is what she just texted me a little while ago. She said, they don't have the small little towns left and right all the time. She said, you do see some. So it's more of the beautiful scenery. And she said, she said, you actually cruise more during the day, which is really nice. So you get to actually relax, because those of you that have been on a river cruise, you usually stop twice a day And she said, you travel more during the day, so it's laid back and relaxing. A lot of the towns you do motor coach these, so you see a lot of the beautiful scenery. She said the landscape is the most beautiful of any of the river cruises I've been on, all the vineyards along the river. So yeah, so that's what she just texted me. But I'm not going to tell you who she cruised with because Avalon's better, right? So let's look at the ship here. I don't have pictures of the ship just because it's being built, but these are artist renditions you'll see behind me. This is the top deck. And what's different is, move my head, we have a pool up on the top deck. Usually Avalon has a hot tub, so we have a little pool here that's on the top deck. So what's also different is the capacity. So normally Avalon has 126 or 166 passengers. For our French river cruises, so the Burgundy and Provence, the Normandy, those have 126. Your Rhine, your Danube, those have 166 passengers. This one only 102 passengers. Right now, Tammy and I were looking a little bit earlier, so it's about half full right now. So it is a great way to cruise. So when you look here at just the drawing of it, and I'll show you pictures of the cabins, you have, for those of you that haven't been on a river cruise yet or haven't been on Avalon, the bottom area that's in blue, those are the cabins that have the windows. And then everything above that is 200 square feet with the beds facing out. And that's an 11-foot sliding glass door that opens up. So you'll see there are 37 panorama suites, which are the 200 square foot cabins with the beds facing out. And then we have 14 staterooms on the bottom, and those are the ones that have the window. And it's tailor made for the Douro, so we need to use a smaller ship. And there's a 3-to-1 guest ratio. So that's nice. And they do have elevators on board also that go between the cabins. And 30% larger suite. So that's one thing about Avalon in general. We have larger cabins, we have less people on board, and you have this wide open view with this floor to ceiling sliding glass door. So this is also a little bit different than Avalon, is the size of the cabins. So on the bottom, the windows and these beds can be separated if you have a roommate with you. So it's either on the bottom, it's 172 square feet or 180 square feet with the window. And then there are 200 square foot cabins. Those are all of the ones, let me go back, here up on the top. So these ones on the bottom in the blue, those are the ones that we call the deluxe staterooms that are 172 or 180 square feet that have the window. And then everything above that, that floor to ceiling slider, those are these 200 square foot cabins with the beds facing out. That's one big thing about Avalon are the cabins. So I have traveled with some of my girlfriends before, and the cabin is way big enough for 2 people. If you have a roommate, it's even better if you have the cabin by yourself, right? And you get one of those great deals with the Wave single. But there's plenty of room in the closet. I still, Tammy, have not figured out how to pack with a carry-on. I am the worst packer. All my friends do it, and they do it really well. I even saw one of my friends went to an event with a backpack, and I can barely pack for a backpack for overnight. So I am really bad. So the suitcase fits underneath the bed. The closet is really large, so you have plenty of room to put 2 suitcases in there, and there's a lot of hangers. So if you do have a roommate with you, there's a desk here, there's a sofa, there's a chair. That's why we call these an open air balcony. We have sound dampening walls. You can't hear people next to you, flat screen TV. We have movies on the TV, not that you're even going to watch, but you know, if you get back at night, you just want to chill and watch a movie, you can do that. So they're very nice. So again, a little bit different than our other ships. What's different, and you guys might not realize, and I don't know if any of you have taken a Royal Suite on Avalon in the past, but the other ships that we have, they have 300 square foot cabins. We can't do that on this because of the size of the ship. So it's either 200 square feet, 172 or 180. And what's nice is those cabins that are on the bottom, there's still a lot of light coming in. It's not dark, it's not an inside cabin. So you could feel totally comfortable and not claustrophobic there on the bottom. So we also have a adventure host that's on all of our ships, including this one. And that adventure host will do the early morning walks, the hikes, the bike rides, but we do have bike excursions where we take you either to the bike shop or they come with a trailer with all these bikes and you take a bike excursion. So we have an adventure host. They also do yoga classes. You'll also see we have a club lounge that's in the back of all of our ships. It's where our, and I know you heard me say this, and I'm sorry to curse, but we have our kick-ass cappuccino maker that's in the back of the ship. And it's also, yeah, I love my cappuccinos. And it's also in the main lounge. So we have 2 of these cappuccino makers on board. They're free. It has cappuccinos, lattes, hot milk for your hot chocolate. Also, you'll see complimentary Wi-Fi, flex dining. What that means is you don't have to get there right at 7 o'clock. It's flex from 7 to 8:30. So if you're, coming back to the cabin, you're taking a shower, taking your time, you don't have to run to dinner at 7 o'clock. So it's flex from 7 to 8:30. But what we do for the meals is we have either in the dining room or in the main lounge, we have a light lunch, a light dinner. So you have some choices of where you go for your meal. Also, we have a fitness center on all of our ships. It's just one of the cabins that's converted to a gym. We have a covered observation lounge, which is on the top. We have the sky deck with the pool. What's also nice is we, for happy hour, it's not 2 for 1, it's now included. So for those of you that have been on Avalon in the past, an hour before dinner or an hour after dinner, we would have 2 for 1. Now it's included happy hour. So that's something
Thank you, Avalon Waterways.
Yeah. So
it's already included in dinner, wine and beer
yes.
dinner, right?
Yep. And I think that's actually my next slide after this one.
Sorry.
Yep, that's my next slide. Oh, no, you're good. You're keeping me in line.
Yeah.
So also, I really think that this is one of the main differences with Avalon. And I'm going to show you some screenshots of the day-to-day itinerary, but we have different types of excursions. What some river cruise companies do is they will give you one excursion and then everything else is additional. And you'll see when I show you these screenshots of the day-to-day where you have a choice of either or, sometimes 3 choices, and they're labeled. It's either active, classic, which is just a regular walking tour, or discovery, which I always I say it's it's an experience or an off the beaten path type of excursion. So to the food, and like Tammy said, for beer, wine, and refreshments, it's included for lunch and it's also included for dinner. And thank you, Avalon. In 2023, happy hour is now included. If you, because this is a great wine region, if you buy a bottle of wine and you want to take it on board, that is completely fine. We don't confiscate alcohol when you come on board like the big ships do. So you can bring it on. What some people do is they'll bring a bottle of wine, maybe buy some bread and cheese and take it to the club lounge or up on the top deck. And the food we have for breakfast, it's a buffet breakfast, or we have an early riser breakfast. You can also get room service in the morning, but it's just continental. And then we usually get you off. You have a city tour after that, whether it's active, classic, or discovery. Get you back on for lunch, cruise during lunch. Lunch, it's either you order from the menu or we have our buffet, or you go to the main lounge, in the back of the main lounge, and we have a light lunch that's set up and it's comparable to what we have on the buffet. A lot of it's the same food, some salads and some of the meals that are at the buffet. And it's nice if you just want something light. And then for dinner, same thing, sit down dinner. Lot to pick from on the menu. If you don't like what's on the menu, we always have, you can get steak, you can get salmon. One time I was on board with somebody that just wanted hamburgers every night, and they can do that. What's also nice for dinner is you can go to the main lounge and you can have a light dinner there also. If the weather's great, we're docked. We also have a cookout outside up on the top deck. It's an open air bistro. Also, one thing that Avalon does is if you have any food allergies, whether it be, you need to be gluten-free, you're diabetic, allergic to nuts, or what have you, what they do is when you get on board, they say, if you have any food allergies or you just don't like something, we have a meeting. They actually take your picture and they put it in the kitchen so they can keep track of what you're allergic to, what you don't like. It's pretty funny. I was on with somebody that was celiac and he was just diagnosed with it and he was trying to, be as gluten-free as he could. And they were stocking him with gluten-free cookies and crackers, and it's nice. We also have an Avalon Fresh item that's on the menu, and you'll see this for lunch, you'll see this for dinner. So if you're trying to eat healthy or you're vegan, we also have Avalon Fresh items that are on the menu.
Denise, quick interjection here too. When I was in France in October of 21, we had somebody with a super special diet,
Mm.
multiple scenarios or multiple challenges, and it all worked out great. Your staff was wonderful about that. And also with Singles Travel International, you have the added comfort and assurance of our concierge who leads the program. So she would actually have that meeting with the maitre d' and the chef that first day, and just keep an eye. It sounds like Avalon already is on their toes when it comes to this, but that's an added layer of comfort for our members.
That's good. That's nice. So let's take a look at the river. So you'll see here, look at this. I mean, the scenery is absolutely gorgeous. That's why they call it the River of Gold. And you have all these slopes. And that's why my friend was saying it's completely different than the other river cruises that you go on. I was on the lower Danube this past April and kind of similar, very scenic. A lot of trees, a little bit different than like if you're on the Rhine with the castle. So it's a nice change. So what Tammy picked for you guys is 3 nights in Lisbon, which is the pre-night, then your cruise. I've been in Lisbon and I was only there for 1 night and I cannot wait to go back. So much to do. I remember, Tammy, when I was there, we were like, okay, we don't have much time. So we're going to do the hop on, hop off. Well, there are like 6 different routes that you can take for the hop on, hop off. Not like, Key West, you hop on the one, right? And it takes you around for a couple hours or an hour. This one had all of these different routes that you could take. The city is absolutely beautiful. There's so much to do. This is guided. So you have a guided city tour and you have 3 nights there where you can sign up for some optional excursions. I was looking at the one, it's a culinary tour that you can take, but there is a lot included, but then you do have some free time, but you'll have a guide there. And if you want to go to a certain restaurant, the guide can help you. And that guide then will be on there and go with you to the ship in Porto to get on board the Alegria in Porto. And that is the name of it.
Sorry, Denise. One of the other fun things that is a recommendation, our concierge, your tour leader, we've got to go 1 night to a Fado, and that's going to be in a like in this. You can see how old this city is. So we're going to go down into this like a cave location, and there's a woman singing, and she's wrenching her neck and her heart, and she's singing in Portuguese, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to feel the passion and the love and the sorrow, because it's really it's kind of like the Portuguese blues. So that's why having 3 nights in Lisbon, we get to see everything in the day, but we also are going to have fun in this wonderful city of nightlife. Great for
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah. And like I said, Lisbon is absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, when I was there for my 1 night, I was in such a hurry and then I got on a ship, but it's nice because you'll have 3 nights to experience Lisbon, which is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so the guide will be with you, take you to Porto, and then you hop on the Alegria. So here is the cruise. So it's Porto to Porto. And you'll see here, there are some towns along the river, like you see those dots, but then you will see there are some of these towns that you do need to motor coach to. But for the most part, they're all right there in town. And what's nice is we do have an excursion to Salamanca, so you get to go to Spain for the day. So that's also nice. I can't wait. I want to do this too next year.
All
Tammy,
right.
this is
Well,
my list. Yeah, I know it's on my list. It's so funny, like you said, Tammy, once you do something, then like your list just keeps on adding, right?
right.
So these are just some of the towns that you'll see on this trip. And what you'll see is I have some screenshots of some photos, and then I took a screenshot of the different excursions that you can choose from. So this is the town. You'll see you have a choice of guided sightseeing in Braga and Guimarães, or you have a choice of a Romanesque tour. So here is the town. These are just some of the towns that are on these excursions. And then here is on day 2 where you have the choice of excursions. So you'll see one is discovery. And like I said, I kind of call those like experience excursions or off the beaten path excursions. So this one here, enjoy an excursion with an exclusive visit to one of the most iconic monasteries of the Romanesque era. Or you have a classic walking tour. You also go to a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and then you get to stop in one of the wine farms and enjoy some tasting. And again, you could buy some wine and bring it on board. And what's nice is, like my friend was saying, you cruise more during the day. So you'll see that we'll be cruising during lunch. We'll have some cruise time. And here you'll see there's just one stop where you have 2 choices, but you'll see that we dock overnight. So you have time to get off the ship, go experience, the local area. And all of your meals are also on board unless you sign up for some of the optional excursions. I went through the day-to-day, and there are some optionals. Avalon and Globus were not an all-inclusive company. So you'll see on some of these, you may not have many optionals. Like the last one I did, I think we had 2. So some of you might want to sign up for these. Some of you may not want to do them, but we just put them, out there if you want to sign up for these. If there is an optional excursion that you want to do, sign up for it early. You'll get an email saying time to book your excursions. Even the included ones where we had that either or. Usually it's not that big of a deal because it's not a bike excursion. Like if there's a bike excursion and that's something you really want to do, then I would choose that before you get on this. So you can go in and pick if you want this discovery or if you want your classic excursion. But then there are some that are optional. These here that you see on the screen, these are all included excursions. Like one of the, oh, go ahead, Tammy.
For the members who are listening who haven't done this before, you said earlier it's not an all inclusive, but it really
It is. Yeah.
you could take this cruise and all your meals and your drinks at dinner, no happy hour, and also there is a choice of at least 2 excursions every day, so you don't have to buy anything extra.
No.
And you would have a wonderful vacation. And that what Denise is talking about are additional experiences that are available, and they're usually in the evening and they don't conflict with some of the other tours, but sometimes they're at the same time. So you'll get all of that in advance and get to choose, but you don't really have to you don't have to purchase anything extra. You have tours every day included, right, Denise?
I normally find on these cruises that I don't sign up for any, to be honest with you. And please don't tell Avalon I'm saying this, but you know what? You have full days.
Yeah.
But you have some people that say, you know what? I've never been here. Sign me up for everything. Or like me, if my friends want to go, all right, maybe I'll do one of these additional ones that you have to pay for, but you have full days with these excursions. So it's there if you want it. I looked at some of them. It looks like one is a Portuguese dinner hosted by a local farmer. There's an olive oil mill. There's a do-it-yourself Portuguese pastry baking. There's a canal cruise. But you'll see, like Tammy said, you have days here where you have all of these excursions that you can choose from. Usually when I take a river cruise, my bill at the end of the trip is like €6.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't drink, but you have beer and wine included for lunch and dinner. Now you have the happy hour included. So you don't have to, I mean, let's face it, river cruising is pricing to begin with, pricey. So, if you want to save a little bit of money, or you just think that you have a full day and you're good, what you could do is just wait till you get there. And if maybe somebody else is doing one of these and you want to sign up, that's completely fine. But the included ones, if there's something that you really want to do, you can choose them ahead of time. So then we have day 3. So you'll see you have a choice of either a classic excursion or you'll see another discovery. So you'll see the discovery is experience life on one of the oldest farms in the Douro Valley with a personal tour by the owner of the house, including an olive oil and wine tasting. And then you have a classic. And the beautiful tiles, narrow streets, stained glass windows. So again, you have a either or, both included excursions. And then you'll see that there is an optional excursion there. Like you said, Tammy, towards the end of the day, if you want to go to an olive oil mill. And then there's another one, which is the Portuguese dinner. A lot of the times they'll have, like you said, in the evening, they'll have like a show, which is something like a folk show or something that's local. So you'll see that also. We do have local entertainment that comes on board. In the evening, we'll have a keyboard player, but they noticed a lot of people just go to bed because you're so tired, right? Because you've maybe drank a little bit more wine than normal and you have all these excursions during the day. So what we have at night too is a DJ. And then what they'll do is we'll have local entertainment some evenings. One night they'll have a karaoke night. One night they'll have a trivia night. So that's one thing that they vowed for 2023 is to be better with the local entertainment at night and to do something more like I said, we're going to add trivia and there you go, Ron, your
Yes.
get up and do your karaoke, right?
Entertainment. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then what you'll see here also on day 3 is we dock overnight, which is nice. So you can go into town. And these are all these beautiful tiles that you see in Portugal. And I remember when I was in Lisbon, all these beautiful tiles that you see. So day 4 in Pochino, you'll see also you have a discovery excursion or a classic that you can choose from. So you'll see here, there's this archaeological site that you can go to. And I actually took a picture here. This is what you can go see in this archaeological site. That is the discovery excursion. That one also includes more wine tasting. And then you have a classic excursion where you go to a local farm and you do some wine tasting. You'll see 100 original grape varieties. So if you like wine, this is definitely the place to go, right? And what's nice on Avalon is they'll have regional wines. Again, you can bring on wine. They just asked if you don't bring it to dinner. I mean, some people do. I would definitely bring a wine opener, wine bottle opener with you. When I was on in June, I did the Moselle, which is also noted for its beautiful wines in the wine region. And we had somebody that bought this great champagne and great wine, and they didn't drink it all, and they didn't want to take it back. So they brought it in the lounge and the bartender opened it up. They didn't charge them a corking fee and we all had it. And I don't say I drink, but boy, this champagne was awesome. So anyway, so you'll see again here, your overnight docking in town and cruising more during the day, which is absolutely beautiful. So for those of you that have been on a river cruise before, the days can be pretty busy, right? With 2 stops during the day. But this one, like I said, it's not as busy. So you get to enjoy cruising down the river, which I absolutely love.
And Denise, I think that a couple of things that our concierge team would do is take our members out at night if there's something
Yeah.
going on. And also, you talked about that onboard picnic. I mean, I really would be pressed to find where there would be a gap where we weren't being fed on
I know.
Avalon Waterways, because
Yeah.
they feed us in the morning, they feed us when we come back from our tour. There's a snack, and then there's a happy hour, and then a dinner. But sometimes it's fun to, like you said, get off, get some bottles of wine at one of these wineries or vineyards that we've gone to, get some local fare, and just come up and sit up on deck by that pool, because we're going to be there in the summer and have a little bit of a hot tub pool party with some our own little happy hour. So
Love
lots
it. I
of
love
fun.
it. Yeah, a lot of people, like you said, they'll go to the top deck, they'll go to the back lounge, they'll bring some wine, some cheese, some bread. And the back lounge is a great place to hang out. And that top deck, that's one thing too. Like I said, if you want to save a little bit of money and you want to be on the bottom, in the D or the E at the bottom, you really, when you're cruising on the river, the best place to be is up on that top deck. Hold on one second. Sorry. I remember my very first river cruise. I was on the Rhine and we were cruising down the river. And I remember there was nobody up on that top deck and music was going. And I remember I had one of those moments like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And then everybody came up there and they brought their wine and their cheese and ruined my moment, but it was great. And then we all just started hanging out and they were all drinking some wine and eating some cheese that was local. And it is just, it's very relaxing. River cruising is completely different than big ship cruising if you haven't been yet. And it's very educational. It's like a land tour, but you're not packing and unpacking like you would on a land tour. And back to the food, Tammy, like you said, you're getting fed quite a bit. So you have your breakfast. There's an early riser breakfast. There's breakfast. And then when you get on, there's tea time at 4 o'clock. So they always have that in the late afternoon, and then you have dinner. In the club lounge at the back, they have that cappuccino maker back there, and there's some snacks and cookies back there also. So day 5, that is the excursion that you can take to Spain and do Salamanca. So you'll see there are 2 excursions that you can do. Classic would be the Douro International Natural Park, and that has all these beautiful birds. Or you can take the excursion to Salamanca. And again, that is included. And then you'll see, you taste the local dish. And then in the afternoon, there is a optional excursion if you want to bake yourself with some Portuguese pastries. And talking about food, I have some pictures here. So Portuguese pastries, look at that, 20 plus Portuguese cakes and pastries to try before you die. So they are noted for their awesome pastries and again, their food. Great fish, great wine. So you guys are going to have a fantastic time. So then also on board, what you'll see is they are going to have tile painting on board. So in the morning, as you're sailing, they have a professional painter that'll come on and you get to paint your own tile. So you get to cruise then on day 6 for quite a bit. And then you'll see that there is an excursion and there's only just one classic excursion. And look at Tammy, do you see what it says there? After said later, feel the passion of Portugal's soulful and stirring.
Right, with the
Yeah,
music,
yeah,
passionate tunes. No
yeah.
statement.
There you go. And we will have some local person come on board and, they will sing the music. And then you'll see you sail into Porto and we're right there in town and you get to explore the city. So we're docked overnight in Porto.
Which a lot of the beautiful scenery that you see if you Google image search or something like that, it's Porto at night. It's just
Yeah, I actually have, these are all
yeah, that
pictures
one.
that I took here of Porto. So here's
Gorgeous.
there's there. I know it's absolutely gorgeous. And here's your
Yes.
at night.
And we'll be right there, Denise, right? On our
Yep.
boat,
Yep.
get in
And
the
then you guys
river.
all have, yep. So you can just roll off and go into town. So while you're in Porto, You'll be right there. There is a bike excursion. And this is where I'm saying, like, if you really want to take the bike tour, it's going to be summer. If you like to bike ride, this would be a great time to sign up and go with a cyclist. And it's a professional biologist and will take you on tour. So you'll see there are two choices. It's either a classic excursion, UNESCO World Heritage Site, or go with active. I went one time when I was in Vienna. I took the bike tour. I have to say, it was a blast. So I would definitely, if you like to ride your bike, I would definitely do that. And then you'll see in the afternoon, you do have an optional that you can sign up for and go on. And then you're docked again in Porto overnight, and we're right there in town, so you can go and take in the town. And this is like the little Venice of Portugal, right? And I was actually just in Venice about a week and a half ago. Absolutely gorgeous. So this is like the little Venice of Portugal. So a couple things, you will get an email closer. I mean, we're a little ways out here, about a little bit more than a year out. But when you get closer, you'll get an email that says time to book your excursion. So if you do want to book included ones, you could do that. If you want to book optional ones, you can. You'll also get an email that says download your app. So on your phone, you download the Avalon app, put in the invoice number, and all your documents are there. So we don't have paper documents anymore. We're, trying to help the planet, and everything is right there on your phone. The weather, things to do, places to go, but you're going to have your personal concierge with you, right? So
That's
they
right.
will
I
be there to
think
help you.
not only that, we have Catherine and Kimberly here at Singles Travel International on our team. We have a help center, though the two of them answer emails every day, and they're so kind and sweet and generous with their time. So, because we're 50 plus, not everybody is super, super swift when it comes to the technology. And we totally understand that. So we're here to help, just give us a call and we'll help walk you through all of this new stuff. And you know what? As we try it little by little, we all get good at it, and it's really
Yeah.
really helpful. So I'm glad to see that all the cruise lines have added apps, and it does make it all nice, because you always have all your documents with you, right? Instead of a big folder or something like a lot of us would be used to carrying around. So everything is in the app, and nothing can be lost. So it's all there.
Right. And honestly, it's like you don't even need what's on your app. You just show up and give your name and you're
Right,
good
and
to
give
go,
your
right?
name.
Yeah. Show
Exactly,
your passport and
exactly.
you're good to go. But you guys are going to love it. And Tammy, I know right now we have one, right?
Yes,
Wave single left.
we do. So, Avalon Waterways. So, whenever you cruise as a single, all of the cruise lines charge double the price, and we work so hard. This month is our 30th anniversary.
Wow. Happy
30
anniversary.
years. And so 1993 is when I started Singles Travel International. And so for 30 years, I've been working on this, and I've had CEOs of the major cruise lines telling me, no way, Tammy, we're never going to have single cabins. We're never going to discount the price. Never, 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 never. But we have worked and tirelessly negotiated. I played ping pong with the CEO of Royal Caribbean. I sat in meetings with the CEO at Celebrity, Cunard, to try to change their perceptions. And luckily for our single travelers, things are starting to turn around. But Avalon Waterways was one of the first to be generous with us. And so what that means is that they waived the extra amount that they would charge for a single. So you might ask, why does that happen anyway? Denise told you earlier in the presentation, they only have 100 cabins. So when that vessel sails on June 30th, they have 100 opportunities to make revenue. And so when you have two people in a cabin, you make X number of dollars on two people. So when there's one person in the cabin, they still want to make that same amount of revenue. They only have 100 cabins. So you can imagine that it is a big departure for them to offer that discount. Singles always say, well, why? I only eat for one person. But it's a much more business oriented decision. So the fact that they gave us 7 cabins and they are not charging us the double price is significant. And so we thank you for that. And we continue to advocate for our singles. And so we already, 6 members have already taken advantage of the offer. So we have one left, and it's in any category. So I'm going to steal the screen. If this is your last screen, Denise.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to take the screen from you, and then
Okay.
I'm going to go over here, and that is not the screen I wanted, but let's go here, and I will show you that on the Book Now page. So I'm on the trip page, and most of you know how to navigate to that, but you could click on all trips and then cruises. We also have a new luxury category now, and this cruise would fall in that new luxury category. If you guys can see that in the upper right hand drop down, we added that recently because we are finding a trend. Our travelers want to do more exotic, more all inclusive, and no more sharing, and they would like to do it in style. And so Avalon Waterways is one of the companies that provides that. So that falls into this category. So what we did here was we also demonstrated what it would cost if you took a shared cabin. And so nobody wants to share anymore. When we started 30 years ago, 70% of our travelers would take a share, Denise, and folks here tonight. 30% wanted their own cabin. Well, today it is like 90% want their own cabin, only 10% want to share, and it's even less than that now coming out of this last couple of years. So we're not even matching unless 2 members come together. We'll do that for them, but we're no longer matching because nobody wants to do that anymore. So it's even more important for us to get these special prices. So if you were to come on this cruise as a share, the price we put here to demonstrate would be $5,719 for those window cabins that Denise showed you. And because of the negotiated price that we have, you're only going to pay $59.89 as a premium member. So it's a $280 more, or $270 more for your own space, which is fantastic. That's nothing to do with us. It's just our negotiating with Avalon Waterways and their generosity toward us. So, cheers for you guys, because not everybody's doing it. But, before I go to my grave, I'm going to get a lot more out of the cruise companies, that's for sure.
Yes.
So today, as a premium member, we have 3 categories, because that's what Denise showed you. There's 100. There's the lower deluxe cabin, which has the windows, and I'm going to change these because I realize these cabins are not reflecting the new ship that you're showing me. This is from one of the European river cruises. So, but this is the one with the windows at the top, and then we have 2 levels of panorama suite. There's the middle deck and then the higher deck that Denise was talking about. So Sapphire deck and Royal deck. And as a premium member, you're either paying $74.79 or $75.79, right? So for 100 more, it's the top level. Well, we have one left. So whoever books the next one is going to get this deal. And then, of course, our premium deal will change. And that's when Singles Travel International gives back from our till, so that we can always have something for our premium members. So first we get it from the cruise line, then we take it out of our pocket, because we want to be able to make sure that our premium members always have a little something, but the best deal is always up front. So we have one more left. And then if you are not a premium member, and this is important, you would need to purchase the membership for the year, which is $397. And in this case, for example, on this deck, I'm going to bump this up a little bit. The difference between the single rate without the premium deal is $3,980. That's how much Avalon Waterways gave us a discount. So that's significant. So your $397 membership, you're saving 10 times that on this program alone. And then you have a whole year to be first to find out about the deals when they come out. And we're launching a new trip on Friday as well. So you'll get a 48-hour notice before everybody in the community to get these deals. So it may not always be for you, but why not get first dibs, right? So that's it. You just come to the book now page, select your cabin, add your membership if you're not already a member. And in this case, we have everything included. That there's only one other thing extra that we added here, and that's if anybody wants to stay yet one more night in Porto to drink a little more wine, we added that for you. And really, it has a little bit more to do with your flights getting out of the country in case you have to stay a little bit later and you wouldn't be able to get to Lisbon in time to catch a flight. This is going to make that comfortable for you. We even included the transfers. I'm pretty sure here. I'm just going to go back to my inclusive features page. I think that's why there are no transfers here, because we actually included your round trip transportation.
And the
So,
gratuities.
yeah, here it is. So round trip transportation is included, and your prepaid gratuities. There's internet on board the ship, so your drinks are included for the most part. The only time, and I even think, Denise, if we ordered a mimosa for breakfast, they're giving it to us, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So, so like Denise said, her bill, and she doesn't drink, but I'm Irish from the south side of
Okay, I
Chicago.
will have like a margarita every now and then, but
So if you're, unless you're, drinking like at 2 a.m. after everyone else is asleep, and just cookies and milk don't do it for you, you might have to buy a drink. But so you're talking about, um, so we have 10 nights, 7 nights on the cruise, 3 nights in Lisbon, all your transportation from the airport to the hotel, hotel to the ship back to the airport, gratuities, all your meals, all your drinks, all your excursions. So do you see how the only thing you really have to buy right now is your airfare? So, and if you're single and you're over 50 and you want to be with other people like you, same resources, same style of life, then this is the place to go. So, okay, now you know how to make the reservation. You know why we're different, and our concierge team is dedicated, friendly, compassionate, caring. They're with us the whole time, and they fill in all the gaps. So wherever Avalon doesn't have it covered, we're there for you. And if anybody who's been on a trip with us and had any little hiccup, they know that the concierge steps right in and takes care of it. So with that, I'm going to welcome everybody who's here. We're going to go off and do some questions and answers for those of you who showed up live. But for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please click on the link to see more about the vacation and subscribe to our channel so that you get the first invitation when we have a new video. And if you're not a member yet, go to our website at singlestravelintl.com and get started. It's free. Thanks.